It is the Oldies Attic.
Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank on WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com, and our interview segment brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Personal Injury Law Firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, we'll go left to right. We have Bob Henry and Ron Moreau representing the Indiana Fire Association this morning. Gentlemen, honor as always to have the Indiana Fire Association or any of our first responders in studio with us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so Bob, let's actually start with you because you can take a step closer to the microphone as well. Bob, this is obviously the end now of Fire Prevention Month. My dad being a fireman, it was always kind of cemented in my head. October was the time for the fire departments to head out to the schools and to do programs at the schools. So I'm assuming Indiana Fire Association's been all around the Indiana Borough and White Township schools?
We had a total of 15 programs scheduled this year.
Wow.
We've got 11 of them, 12 of them done so far. We still have 3 remaining. In fact, we have one this morning. In that time, we've talked to almost 1,500 kids.
That's big. That's big. Getting the word out about fire prevention at that age has got to be important.
Well, to us, it's very important. And, you know, there are some kids, they don't pay attention, but that's fine. But if you can reach just one, that's what it's all about.
Now, these programs, I talked with you about how we used to see a firefighter in turnout gear kind of crawling around on the floor. And I actually remember him coming up to me because, again, Dad being in the fire department, he knew me. Hey, Josh, how's it going? Through that mask of his. But that really is that still a big part of that? Do they get to see the turnout gear?
It is an important part because we want to make sure that the kids know not to be, afraid of a firefighter if they see him with all their gear on. But we also teach them about having a special meeting place outside your house, how to safely get out of your house, and different things that they can do to make sure that they survive in a serious situation like that.
All those basic tips still very much important. Have an escape plan. Have a meeting place. Feeling the feeling the doors with the back of your hands. Things like that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So, and obviously, it's not just October that you can do this. You offer it year round.
We usually do it year round. We do tours and different programs, but with Fire Prevention Month, especially Fire Prevention Week, we try to hit it as hard as we can.
Excellent. That's one of the great services that you guys do. So, Ron, let's go over to you. One of the things that you wanted to talk about was the fact that there's going to be some fundraisers coming up. I think Fund Drive and,
yes, sir.
And volunteering. So let's talk about the Fund Drive first.
Well, this year it's Company 3, and as a former Company 3 member, we rotate through members on who's in charge of the fund drive for the year.
Let me guess, it's your turn.
Well, it's Bob's.
It's Bob's turn. 3.
Okay. I'm the captain of Company 3.
Bob wears many hats.
All right.
Some people are born to greatness, others have it thrust upon them.
The man quotes Shakespeare. Yeah. Nice. Okay.
He's actually writing a book. We're going to have some fun with it.
But let's talk about this is a very serious issue. I mean, a lot of the fire equipment does not come cheap. I think maybe you can explain to us just the cost of going out to a call.
Fuel costs, tire, maintenance, oil changes, batteries. These trucks have so many bells and whistles on them now for environmental concerns that, we're budgeting thousands and thousands of dollars a year on truck maintenance. And that's one thing we're real proud of. I mean, we're always keeping them clean, nice, sharp, ready to run. You got to be ready all the time, 24/7.
Yeah, definitely. And also the cost to train an individual who wants to become a firefighter. Bob, maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Well, we're actually fortunate at the IFA. We have a couple state instructors who are members.
Oh, cool.
And we're able to, there's 4 modules to their basic training that they have to take. So as they come into our junior program, which starts at age 14, we're able to actually start working them through their modules to get them where they need to be. Even senior members over the age of 18, they can come in and also start taking their modules with our state certified instructors.
In-house.
In-house. Yeah. All in-house. That is amazing. Yeah. And I'm assuming that a lot of this is done at the academy.
We do a lot of it right in the station.
Right at the station on Philadelphia Street.
The fourth module is a burn. So obviously,
Yeah, you can't do it
There's
there.
a lot of things that happen down at the fire academy. So
I just remember going again, another fire prevention thing just popped into my head. Just going in there and seeing the obstacle course that was
Yes.
put together for a smoke-filled room and the training to go through that. But that's just one small piece of it. I mean, there really is a science to fighting a fire. There's a lot of knowledge that goes into it. It's not just going over there and dumping water on the situation.
right. Yeah, putting wet stuff on the hot stuff.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
But there is a science to it. I mean,
There is.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of knowledge associated with that. Plus, Indiana has a rescue squad too.
Yes.
So with that, you have to be prepared for anything.
Our rescue squad, I don't know, what are we running? 140, 160 calls a year.
Just rescue squad alone.
Yeah. Now that beyond rescue or beyond vehicle accidents, it's smells and bells. You know, your CO calls, your
Yeah,
gas smells,
like we reported this morning, carbon monoxide alarms.
entrapments, elevator rescue. So it's A to Z for the rescue squad. It's one of the busiest companies within the IFA.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that is pretty big. So obviously, as we mentioned, it's a high cost to maintain the vehicles, high cost to kit somebody out with their turnout gear. So obviously, fundraising is a big important part of that. Bob, you can talk about what's going to be going on as part of that fundraising effort.
Well, over the weekend, we participated in the Indiana Borough trick-or-treating with all the businesses up here.
With downtown Indiana, right?
We actually did a boot drive,
Oh, nice.
and we did pretty well with that. We had 10 firefighters participate in a charity softball tournament out at the White Township.
I did see that. This was the first responders tournament
Yes, correct.
with the police departments and the EMTs and everybody else.
And then we also do our yearly mailer. So we've actually started getting some returns in on that, and we're happy so far.
So you've already sent the mailer out?
Yes.
Okay. And people still have time to get that in.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
If they didn't get any of that information from the mail, if they didn't get their mailer, can they still donate maybe directly online or some other means?
Yes, you can go onto our indianafire.com and you can donate via PayPal. Or, you can people stop by the station with a donation. But it went out to over 16,000 households in Indiana Borough and White Township.
Yeah. So it's pretty widespread. And this is the big thing, I think, as well, to prevent scammers. Let's do that. This is the only way that they will solicit funds, right?
That's correct. No phone calls, no knocking on doors. We send a letter and it goes out to everyone.
All right.
And it happens every year that scammers, trying to get a chunk of that money. But
Yeah. Let's make sure it goes to the right place.
correct, exactly.
One other thing that I always like to mention when it comes to our first responders and especially our fire departments, and I think this has been a topic that has been covered multiple times, multiple ways, it's the fact that the numbers are dwindling as far as participants go. How many members currently does Indiana Fire Association
I
have?
think we have 54.
54 active?
Yes, 54 active. Our charter is 84, I believe.
Wow.
There was a time when Bob and I first got in back in the 80s and 90s that we had to wait 6-8 months
To get in.
because we were full.
Oh, wow.
So it is. I mean, it's a shift in lifestyle. It's a shift in society. You just don't have that anymore right now. And, 2-parent households working, 2 parents working in a household.
Yeah.
So it's a little tougher to get those hours on the fire ground, if you will.
And it's actually affecting every fire department. It's not just Indiana. Everybody's hurting.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's the big thing that's been said. I think even the state legislators have been talking about
Yes.
the dwindling numbers of firefighters. Jim Struzzi, one of the biggest supporters
Sure.
of the Fire Association and first responders. But I think Bill Simmons, your chief, has said on multiple occasions that back in the 70s that there were like thousands of firefighters across Pennsylvania.
Correct.
Now it's down to the hundreds.
Yeah, it was over 300,000 in the 70s, and that number is always bouncing around. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is now, 35,000 people.
Yeah, so that
Bill-
shows you how time has changed. And
Bill
also-
is our president. And,
Bill president. I'm sorry.
Scotty Schuller's our chief.
I'm sorry. And Scott, please forgive me. But the intent was there. Mayor Simmons,
Sure.
president of the
Yes.
fire company.
Saying Bill's name in any environment is probably correct.
If you say it 3 times, he'll magically appear.
Let's not. I don't want. Okay, let's not do that, please. But you think about it again, as you said, lifestyles change. But there's also incentives that the fire department puts out to try to get the younger members in. You talked about the junior membership program, and I'm assuming that you're still offering the program at the White Township substation, where it's the live-in program. Yes, talk about that.
Right now, we currently have
Five?
5 live-ins.
Wow.
They are IUP students who obviously come to us from other departments, and they have training. And to come be a live-in, we require that at least you have all 4 of your modules, so you're able to mask up and go inside and fight fire.
Okay.
But there are benefits to the college kids that come. It takes care of their room and board for them, which is a huge savings. And
they also get a little responsibility, too, because they have to keep that hall clean.
Correct. They're very helpful with it. Having 2 stations, it's double the grass mowing, double the mowing, double the we have
double the cleanup efforts afterwards.
Banquet out there, banquet facility people rent.
Yeah.
They're always helping tear up, set up, tear down, clean up.
So really,
it's great though. I mean, it's been working since we built the station, 2006, I think.
And the upside for us is when we get a call, let's say even in the middle of the night when everybody's in bed, we can have a truck out the door in 4 minutes.
Or less.
And time is key, especially when it comes to responding. It could make the difference between a fire that is put out within 5 minutes or a house that's burned down to the ground.
Yeah. And, we always try and get water on the fire within a minute of arriving on scene. So that's hitting a hydrant, deploying a hose, hand lines to the front door, and getting it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so if anybody wants to inquire about volunteering to become a firefighter, who do they need to contact? Any firefighter?
And our applications are available on indianafire.com.
indianafire.com, and of course, Indiana Fire Association has a Facebook page out.
Yes.
Always putting out some good information there.
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. Gentlemen, as I said, it's always an honor to have the first responders on. Please give my best to everyone back at the Indiana Fire Association. Absolutely. I know I'll probably see you guys before the year's out on good occasions.
It's nice to be inside, Josh.
Yeah, it's nice to be inside on this one instead of outside in the elements waiting to see what's going to happen next. So Bob Henry, Ron Moreau, thank you very much for joining us on India in the Morning. Best of luck and please stay safe, all right?
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.
All right. Ron Moreau, Bob Henry of the Indiana Fire Association joining us on Indiana in the Morning. Our interview presented by Marcus & Mack, voted Best Personal Injury Law Firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. 9:24.5 on Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank. Coming up next, the CBS Sports Minute, and that's sponsored by S&T Bank, People Forward Banking. And we'll have a check of your news headlines coming up at the bottom of the hour. And Jake Slobodnik will be back from the WCCS Sports Desk with a final look at sports for this Monday, October 30th, 2023. Not good for Pittsburgh sports teams all around this weekend, so we'll have to see what comes of that as the week progresses. But right now, it is time for the CBS Sports Minute, and again, it is brought to you by S&T Bank, People Forward Banking.
He's on the move, just about to score. He's back in the